Hello, welcome to ThriveGroups. We're so glad to have you here with us this week. And we got a couple things to go over before we jump right in to our discussion this week. The first is that we want to encourage everyone to participate, but no one to dominate. So maybe you got great stories, maybe you got great insights, great ideas, and you want to just dominate the conversation. Hey, we appreciate what you got to say, but give someone else an opportunity as well, okay? So make sure everyone gets a chance to share. Also, we start on time, we end on time. So once the group is over, let's stay respectful of the location that we're in. Hang out for a few minutes after maybe, but let's get moving shortly thereafter. So we're going to jump right in. Our opening question is this: what do you enjoy about the summer? For me, I kind of grew up not liking the summer very much. I always liked winter and fall and stuff more. But as I've gotten older, I do enjoy the summer a lot. For me, the thing I enjoy most about the summer, though, is being on the water, going out on the boat, hanging out with the family, pulling the kids on the tube, things like that. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite place to be. So that's for me. But what about you? What's your favorite thing about summer? Okay, we're going to read a section of scripture here. This week at church, we were talking about the miracle of the wedding of Cana of Galilee when Jesus turned the water into wine, his first miracle that is recorded. So I'm going to read it, and then we're going to take a few moments and discuss any observations that we may have from this verse. So here we go, John chapter 2, starting in verse 1. On the third day, there was a wedding at Cana in Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus also was invited to the wedding with his disciples. When the wine ran out, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, "Woman, what does this have to do with me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you to do." Now there were 6 stone water jars there for the Jewish rites of purification, each holding 20 or 30 gallons. Jesus said to the servants, "Fill the jars with water." And they filled them up to the brim. And he said to them, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the feast." So they took it. When the master of the feast tasted the water, now become wine, and did not know where it came from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew, the master of the feast called the bridegroom and said to him, "Everyone serves the good wine first, and when people have drunk freely, then the poor wine. But you've kept the good wine until now." So let's take a few moments and discuss anything that maybe has stood out to you as we read through this. Okay, next question that we have here is: share about a time you felt you ran out of options. Ran out of options. For me, and I've talked about this quite a bit on these discussion videos, but for me and my family, it was, the process of selling our last house and buying. We felt for years that we wanted to move, and we had listed our house on the market, and for whatever reason, it didn't sell. And so we took it off the market, relisted it again, and it just was not going well. We were at the peak, everything was selling well, and our house just wasn't moving. And for a little bit, we just felt like we ran out of options. We're like, we really can't do anything else. And we needed a space for our family and our kids, but we said, it's in God's hands. In the last minute, God came through, worked in a miraculous way. But we really felt like we'd run out of all options in that situation. But how about you? Have you ever felt in your life, maybe it's a sickness, a job situation, a relationship, a house, whatever, you ever have a time where you felt like you ran out of options? Next question here is: have you ever seen a miracle in your life? I've seen a lot of miracles in my life and in the ones that I love and care about. One specifically was with my mom, and she had some eye problems. She had a couple of detached retinas, and after the entire surgery had gone on, they unwrapped her eye, and one eye was kind of tilted about a 45-degree angle, and the other one could see straight on. And as a result, you can imagine that it made vision next to impossible. And we were praying for her healing, and my dad was actually sitting with her, looking at her eyes, and he saw it just twist right into position, and she's been able to see fine ever since. And so that was really a miracle. Like, she could have really been unable to see and perform as well, but God, in a miraculous way, fixed her eye. So that was something for me. But how about you? Have you ever seen a miracle? Maybe it was something big, maybe it was something small. It doesn't matter, but some time that you believe that God really moved in a miraculous way. Okay, next question here is tell about a time when you obeyed God. Tell about a time that you obeyed God. There's a lot of times in life that God leads us and He guides us and directs us. One time in particular was just with starting of the church. I was working a good job. I was in ministry. Things were going really well, and I felt like God said it's time to move on. And at the time, He didn't even give me any specifics if I was starting a church or starting a business or hey, I thought I might be roasting coffee for the rest of my life. I wasn't really even sure, and I followed that step, and then God began to slowly open up doors for me and our family, and we ended up launching Thrive Church. But it was a step of faith. It was a step of obedience. But how about you? Has there ever been a time in your life, or maybe big, maybe small, where you felt God lead you to do something, and then you decided to take a step and obey Him? Well, hey, thanks again for joining us this week. We're going to close in prayer. So we just invite everyone to take a few moments and pray. It doesn't have to be fancy or anything. We're not impressing God with our vocabulary and the words that we say, but take a few moments and pray, talk to God, and then the leader will close it up. So again, thank you guys so much for joining us this week. Let's close in prayer.